Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome in the 2nd century AD, the last in a line of 5 emperors known for ruling with authority, humanity, and competence. During his reign, the Roman Empire faced a devastating pandemic, the Antonine Plague, which began in 165 AD and resulted in the deaths of around 5 million people. In the face of this crisis, Aurelius remained calm and rational, unlike many other officials who panicked or fled. He passed legislation to subsidize funeral costs, preventing bodies from piling up in the streets. When the army faced a shortage of recruits, he enlisted gladiators and, to fund the effort, sold off imperial possessions. Rather than giving in to panic, he addressed each problem as it arose. Meanwhile, he found time to write autobiographical works, now known as meditations, which are considered some of the greatest philosophical writings. Aurelius' wisdom can inspire us today to manage our own worries. In the midst of the current global pandemic, with entire cities and countries in lockdown, many of us are anxious about what might happen next. The uncertainty can easily lead to panic, but as Aurelius reminds us, everything is just history repeating itself. Fears about losing jobs, money, or relationships are not new. Millions before us have faced similar worries. This means we experience the same life patterns repeatedly, just with different people and circumstances. Aurelius reminds us that whatever happens today has happened before. If the world faces crises now, similar ones have occurred in the past, such as the Black Death, SARS, Spanish flu, Ebola, and the Antonine Plague. According to Aurelius, this is just life repeating itself. History shows us that life's patterns remain unchanged as long as we live. Everything is temporary, and nothing is truly new. So, why do we worry so much when it's just life repeating itself? Worry arises when our minds dwell on negative thoughts, uncertain outcomes, or potential failures. When we fear situations like not being able to pay rent or failing an exam, our brains become stimulated. Worry helps us cope, pushing us to solve problems or take action. It's a way for our brains to keep us safe. While worry is a natural part of life, whether it's about an unpaid bill, a job interview, or a first date, it becomes excessive when it's uncontrollable and persistent. We constantly focus on what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, allowing negative thinking to affect our emotional and physical well-being. We need to remember that whatever we're worrying about has happened before. What seems frightening today will soon become familiar. Instead of excessive worrying, try to stay calm. Humans are adaptable, and we can change with life's ever-evolving patterns. Ignore the noise. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than others, but care more about their opinions than our own." We live in a noisy world where judgments and opinions from others, driven by fear and greed, constantly influence us. Their noise often triggers our fears and increases anxiety about the future, causing us to focus on what they think of us instead of improving our own circumstances. For example, we may worry about losing our job, but often this worry is amplified by concern over how others, like friends and family, will perceive us. This stems from our innate desire to be liked. We seek approval without realizing how this undermines our self-confidence and fuels our worries. The more we desire others' approval, the more we become controlled by them. The ancient Stoics understood this well, teaching that we cannot control others' opinions. What we cannot control is unpredictable, and the more we value external things, the less control we have. The truth is, no matter how hard we try, we can never please everyone. There will always be people who resent, judge, or reject us. Worrying about their opinions is as pointless as worrying about the weather. In times of crisis, like the current pandemic, it's important to ignore the noise created by the media. Many media outlets prioritize profits, sensationalizing topics that trigger fear and anxiety, because fear leads to clicks, and clicks lead to money. While it's essential to stay informed through trusted sources, constantly consuming news can make us believe that the pandemic is the only thing happening in the world, which is far from the truth. It's better to focus our time on things we can control, like reconnecting with a long-lost friend or dedicating time and effort to hobbies or skills we want to perfect. Practice mindfulness. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, it is not the future or what is past that afflicts you, but always the present. Stoic mindfulness is about focusing on what is within our control in any situation, doing it well, and acting with kindness towards others. Instead of fearing the worst future outcomes, mindfulness encourages us to focus on the present and make the most of it. For example, if you worry about your partner leaving, mindfulness helps you recognize the problems you're facing and work towards solving them. Rather than falling into panic, mindfulness brings you into a flow state, allowing you to work efficiently and feel less stressed. It can even help you appreciate your partner and the relationship you share. You can begin practicing mindfulness by being more aware of your eating habits, going for walks, avoiding multitasking at work, or meditating. Start with 5 to 10 minutes a day and gradually increase to 20 minutes or more. This gives your mind a break from constant sensory input, helping it settle naturally. In 2020, we faced extreme uncertainty. While we don't know the future, worrying about it won't change anything. Since much of our daily routine, like commutes and alone time, has been disrupted, it's even more important to practice mindfulness to recharge. Set aside time each day for mindful activities, such as deep breathing, meditation, or exercise. Morning mindfulness is especially helpful for setting the tone for the day. You can also practice mindfulness as a family, whether through yoga, a quiet walk, or sharing positive moments over dinner. Mindfulness brings us back to the present and keeps us grounded. Serve yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Life is short. That's all there is to say. Get what you can from the present, thoughtfully, justly." As humans, we live in a delayed return environment, meaning most of our actions today don't yield immediate rewards. If you work hard today, your paycheck will come later. If you save now, you'll have funds for the future. Many aspects of modern life delay rewards. Unlike other animals, who focus on immediate needs like avoiding predators or seeking shelter from storms. Unfortunately, living in a delayed return environment often leads to chronic stress and anxiety because the neocortex, the part of our brain responsible for higher reasoning, has barely evolved since our Paleolithic ancestors, while society continues to evolve rapidly. This mismatch between our ancient brain and modern environment contributes to much of the worry, stress, and anxiety we experience today. Since we can't change the timeline of our civilization, our best option is to shift our worries from long-term concerns to daily routines that can help address those concerns. For example, instead of worrying about living longer, focus on taking a walk each day. Instead of stressing about losing enough weight for a wedding, focus on preparing a healthy dinner tonight. The key is to ensure that your daily routine both rewards you regularly and keeps you from dwelling on future uncertainties. In other words, focus on making the most of today. If you're anxious about the ongoing pandemic, you can shift your worries by asking, how can I make the most of my day today? Perhaps you'll decide to read a book you've always wanted to, or start learning a new hobby. You can use this time to break harmful habits that you couldn't address before due to work or life pressures. If you're uncertain about your job, focus on learning a new skill that might help you keep your current job or pursue an exciting new career. The goal is to make the most of your present without getting lost in worries about the future. Serve others. Marcus Aurelius asks, is helping others less valuable to you? Not worth your effort? Stoics believe every moment is an opportunity to practice kindness. When plague and famine struck the empire, and the wealthiest citizens fled, Marcus Aurelius chose to stay in Rome. He bravely took action, summoning priests and doctors of all specialties, touring the empire, and using every known purifying technique. He attended funerals, gave speeches, and stood by his people, assuring them that his safety was not more important than his responsibility. A true leader is strong, yet deeply moved by others' suffering. Marcus Aurelius wept after overhearing someone say, "Blessed are they who died in the plague," demonstrating that a good leader feels others' pain. Many of us aspire to be kind and to help society, but often fall short, distracted by our busy lives and worries about the future. We sometimes fail to show kindness because we feel we lack money to donate. However, kindness doesn't always require money. You can show kindness by respecting others, donating time to help a group, or giving away items you no longer need, like clothes or household goods. Volunteering is another way to contribute. Any act of kindness helps us build a positive identity, which in turn boosts self-confidence and reduces worry about the unknown. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our full Stoicism playlist. To get more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.